Welcome to Real Inside Sales Talk, Episode 6, with Mark and Jason. We are so happy to have you with us. How you guys doing tonight?
Welcome.
My gosh, we have a great show tonight. We're going to be covering a variety of different topics.
Episode 6.
Jason, how's your day going?
My day is wonderful. My day has been busy. My weekend been very busy. It's been one of those busy weeks, Mark. I tell you, it's one of those things where you have a lot of obligations that you have that you have to do to earn your weekly check and everything. And
what are some of the challenges and goals that you're looking at right now? Tell us more about that.
Well, here's my biggest challenge. My biggest challenge this weekend was time. Okay, so there was this project that we had that had to be completed within a certain window of time over a series of days. So when you're under a time constraint, anything that can go wrong is going to blow off your schedule. Is going to blow off your timing. So it might extend it. It might cause you problems. It cause you more time. So you want to minimize anything that can go wrong. So my weekend was full of minimizing those things that could go wrong.
That makes sense to me. There's sometimes I walk into work and I have 50, 60, 80 callbacks because I've got that snowball effect rolling on, and I have time management, and that is the biggest thing that I have to adjust.
Yes.
New leads in the morning, follow up in the afternoon, and then new leads again as the end of the day gets going.
Well, and let's just talk about that real quick. Let's just jump into the episode here, folks, because you talk about time management, and like over the weekend, that was the one thing that I had to do. Was there was a window of time that we had to have everything done. Now let's say you're going into work in the morning, you've got to do all of these calls, and let's say, okay, the guy that likes to chat and procrastinate is talking to you. He's in the cubicle over him, and he's saying, "Hey, Mark, yeah, I went, over, to this place this weekend, and then the wife did this, and then we did that, and then hooked up with a buddy," and they're just killing your time, and you're in your mind thinking, "I've got to get away from this person to start making my calls and being productive." How do you handle a situation like that? Somebody's really a distraction that's not a good thing.
Okay, so to be honest with you, I look at them as a customer. Is it beneficial for me to Is it beneficial for me to build a better relation with this person and see if they can benefit me in the future by hearing what they have to say? Or should I say, "Hey, dude, I totally understand that you've had a great time. I want to talk to you more about this, but I've got stuff I got to get done. So let's pick this up over lunch, maybe dinner or drink after work. Yeah. We'll talk all about it, but I got to get rolling."
Right. And that sort of thing is not appropriate here at work. We're here to make calls, and it's 8:30, and we need to start making our calls.
Yeah, like, hey,
That's what I do. I log in at 8:30. Look at my schedule. My schedule says 8:30. Start making calls. What time is it?
We're not talking about what was happening on the Kim Kardashian episode, or what movie just came out, or the funniest meme we just saw, or how much we don't want to do what we have to do, but we're here doing it. Hey, how's it going? Oh, same shit every day.
Let me interject. I despise that rhetoric of the same shit every day. And
me too. I was just about to say that. I hate it.
I do too. Get that
every
out of
day,
here, man.
Another day, another dollar.
Oh, get it out of here. You find something else to do.
Yeah, you're not trying hard enough, and that's just the
Well,
real
not only
talk.
that, but you're obviously confused about what you're trying to do in life, and you're obviously confused about the employer-employee relationship, man.
Or you don't know how to talk to people.
No.
That's the biggest thing is, like, what else would you say if you could not say another day, another dollar, or same shit, different day, or hump day, or it's fucking Thursday, or it's Monday.
Or have you used your imagination to find new ways of doing your job?
Absolutely. That's what's part of the fun. Like,
right.
Am I going to email this customer? Am I going to text them? Am I going to call them? Am I going to do all the above? I mean, am I going to, what is my strategy? What is my 5-day game plan for talking to this client?
Right, exactly. So let's talk about one thing that makes your day-to-day job. Do you believe in your product?
Absolutely. If you don't believe in your product, you're selling the wrong service or the wrong product.
Or you're an office, and your office is in disarray. Mark, what's your reaction when you go to a prospect's office and you find their desk completely cluttered and just piles of paperwork, nothing organized, stuff in boxes? What do you think?
So I compare them to how I am. I look at what their strengths and weaknesses are. I compare how I can benefit increasing their strengths and how I can play off of their weaknesses.
Right.
If this person doesn't look like they have their shit together, I might pull a few more tricks to try to save a buck.
Well, if the person is, say, they get this, and that to me is a kind of a warning sign sometimes.
Yeah.
If a person is too over-enthusiastic or too excited about your idea, I'm always, because I would run into that too, where people are like, "Oh, I love that house," or
Where's
"Oh my
the
gosh,
BS going to happen?
yeah, oh, I love that product," or I love this appliance. And,
Or here's my credit card. I want to reserve that room. Or yeah, I'll buy that vacation package to Branson with a
Right.
90-minute timeshare sales pitch, and then their card declines, and then they hang up. And you know, people aren't going to believe what you sell unless you actually sell them.
right, and that's where you have to trust your own product.
Be okay with the trial close too, because sometimes shit rolls through.
Right.
It might only happen 5-10% of the time, but you know, if it's going to increase your handle time with your customers, or I'm sorry, if it's going to decrease your handle time with the customers and make you more money, try to at least go for the sale. And if it declines, go through the proper rebuttals and objections you need to go through to get the transaction over with as either a decline or a sale.
Well, here's one thing, and do you remember, you know, there was a concept of advertisements on television, right?
No. Maybe?
Yeah. There used to be advertisements on television.
Tell me-
I think there still are, if TV's still around.
Like no tobacco. Like you can advertise Bud Light, but you can't have someone drinking out of the bottle.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, back when pitchmen believed their products, Joe DiMaggio, if you're a baseball fan out there, you know he is, and you know he promoted Mr. Coffee. When I watched that commercial, I believed legitimately that Joe DiMaggio had a Mr. Coffee maker sitting on his kitchen counter, and he made coffee from it. But you believe what the guy said. That's the thing. People believed in their product that they would pitch to you back in the day. So that's the thing, folks. When you're out there if you're unsure about what you're doing, and you're unsure about what you're selling, and you're unsure about the next action to take, and maybe you're just a little hesitant that, I don't really believe that this actually does what it says. Well, those are some ethical triggers that are going off in your head, and they're probably something you should listen to and maybe consider selling, a product that you have more belief in and you have more support for. So, Mark, you believe in your product, right?
Absolutely. If I
Okay.
didn't, it
So,
wouldn't sell.
when you believe in your product, that reflects on your day-to-day activity, right?
Absolutely.
Because you love your product and you want more people to be a part of it, right?
Yeah, I want to help people.
Exactly. So, now when you contact your database to sell your new product, what's your preferred method of communication?
Via the phone, and on top of that, leaving a voicemail every time. And after I leave a voicemail, after a phone call, I'm going to follow up with a text message and an email. And then I'm going to follow up again at lunchtime and maybe even around the evening time, around 6 to 7 a.m.
Okay, so most of your communications by phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, now, do you use much email?
I do. I use email every day, but I notice a higher return in the calling and texting. Emails, there's some specific marketing methods that I use that I can't reveal on here that help me get an increased open rate and get me more success.
Right.
But overall, you've got to make your phone calls, and you've got to make people look forward to your phone call, because if you're just setting up a call list and you touch base every 6 months and they don't remember who you are, you're just wasting your time.
Well, you are, and that's when that first call goes out in the morning. You make that first call in the morning. I mean, you want to be excited. I mean, you want to say, "Hey, Mark, how you doing? I see you have you had a listing for your house that expired about 30 days ago, and I was just calling to see if maybe you're still interested in selling your house, or what's your next decision?"
Well, I don't know, Jason. I've had a lot of phone calls. I mean, everyone's telling me how great they are and how they have a buyer for the house, and
Right.
they haven't even seen it. And I've said, hey, I'll bring 3% if you bring that buyer, but no one's brought any buyers, and really everyone's just out to list my house. Why
Sure.
should I talk to you?
Well, I certainly understand the frustration there, and I get that all the time. The reason I'm calling, though, isn't so much about listing your house, but I just want to let you know about the neighborhood that's going on around you. Did you realize that there's going to be a new subdivision built about, a half mile down the road from your house off of Cottonwood?
No, how'd you know about that?
Well, that's one great thing about my job, and so I kind of have my ear to the ground as far as new development, new construction out there. And one thing I noticed about your house, that your house is in certainly an older, an established neighborhood, a very respected neighborhood here in the area. And this new subdivision coming in that's going to be built, these houses are going to be priced in about the $200,000 range. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, that's what we were trying to sell for, and I know it'd be harder to sell my house for that price range with newer houses being priced at that same price range. I mean, we do want to sell, but I mean, we need to sell for a certain amount, and if it hasn't sold for this long, I mean, what makes you think it's going to sell now?
Well, the reason I'm calling isn't so much to list your house to sell or anything like that, but what I want to do is get some information from you. Is is this new subdivision that's coming in out there? These houses again are going to be starting around the $200,000 range. And really, what I'm calling for is, I know since you had your house listed a little bit, did you ever have any buyers come through? Did you ever have any contracts on the house or anything?
A few people, but they didn't have any money, so things didn't work out.
Okay. Well, I understand that. That's unfortunate. What I really want to get to is, what I'd like to know is, if you know anybody that's interested, certainly in buying a house right now, or is in the market to buy a new house?
Well, we looked at 5 or 6 houses. We put in offers on 5 of them, and we missed out on all of them. And really, we just got depressed by the whole situation. So now we're just thinking about chilling out for a while and seeing what the market does.
Okay. That's excellent, and I would recommend that you do that, because this new subdivision that's coming in, I mean, it could do a lot of things with your house. It certainly increase the value of it. There's going to be more demand for that area, and that's why I was just calling up just to follow up. If you knew anybody that might be in the market for a home right now, maybe in the $150,000 to $200,000 range, new starter homes, new construction, lifetime warranty on these houses. Is there anybody that you know that might be interested in maybe buying a house?
No, and I'm just going to chip in real quick. So
Sure.
Here's what I would do differently.
Okay.
So, Jason, you have a house that's $200,000. We're just going to reverse the rules. So you've got a new subdivision coming in. Obviously,
Right.
It's going to be harder to sell your house when the houses are completely built. Correct,
Right.
Jason?
Correct.
Okay, so if it makes more financial sense to sell now and buy while interest rates are still low, because they're going to go up a percentage if you wait another year.
Right.
If it makes more financial sense, if you want to do it now.
Right. Well, here's the point, though. And here's the point I was trying to make, as I was just role-playing that with you.
Yeah.
I wanted to take the idea of me selling you on selling your house out of your mind.
Let's talk about another subject. Right. Whereas,
Because if I say, do you know anybody? Do you know anybody that's interested? And certainly your house has a value. It hasn't sold. I'm not going to try to sell you to sell your house, because right now the market's not right for your house.
Yeah.
I will be honest with you. There is a subdivision coming down. A new subdivision. However, that's going to have benefits for you, because eventually, if your plan is to sell maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, I'll be honest with you as a realtor. I know the market. I know how it's going to grow. There's going to be demand for your house within the next year.
yeah.
You know, there's also the possibility that the market's going to crash. You know what's going to happen? All those houses are going to sit there vacant and empty. And you know what then is going to happen? People aren't going to want to buy a new home. They're going to want to buy a home that's been lived in. And you know where that puts you? That puts you number 1 right there on the scale. And then at that point, you will be able to get out the amount of money that you're wanting for.
Whereas on my methods, like, okay, price
see,
drop,
that's
price
real.
drop, price drop, and that's very real.
That's
I'm
real.
so
I'm not
happy.
bullshitting you.
No, you are not bullshitting, and I'm so happy that we covered that little role play there. And it doesn't matter what you're selling. You focus on what's going to happen in the future and how it benefits them, and how you're able to grow your business off of referrals. Like, he's able to cover all of that in a simple pitch.
And I'm not asking for their business necessarily yet.
Yeah.
I'm asking for their business, but I'm not asking for their business in a direct way.
Yeah, you're at this moment, you are just looking for information.
And I offer empathy. That, look, I'm sorry your house didn't sell. That's unfortunate. The timing isn't right. I will be honest with you straight up front. Here's the reason why I'm calling. Is because I know this is going to happen. The subdivision's already being built. So that's why I'm putting in the idea into your head. And sometimes it might have the opposite reaction, because then they're like maybe pissed that the subdivision is being built.
Yeah.
But although your house more than likely is going to actually increase in value, because, okay, you've got a higher valued home subdivision coming in, all that's going to do is over the next few years, especially if you're kids, don't you love your kids? You want to leave a legacy for your kids. Hang on to your home. Your property in 10 years will be worth twice as much as it is now. Because let me show you this map here. And if you look at this map here, okay, this map here shows where our growth in our town is headed. Let me draw a line here. Here's new growth, here's new growth, here's new growth. All these arrows are pointing right towards your house. What's going to happen in 10 years when all this growth happens? They're going to be on your doorstep. You've got children. You want to leave them a heritage. You want to leave them a legacy. What I would advise you right now is to wait. Hold on to your property. And in the meantime, though, if you know a first-time home buyer, maybe somebody who's tired of living in the city, ready to go to the suburbs, have a kid, give me a call. Let me call them. Talk to them. Because I can put them in one of these homes here. Especially if they're relatives of you or friends of you. They can be nice. They can be next door. They can be close to you.
Yeah, I'd be happy to, Jason. I mean, I'm so happy that you didn't try to sell me on something or try to close me like the rest of these realtors and try to get me to list my house against my will and make me buy something I didn't want to buy. I'm really happy that you educated me in the whole process, and I'd
Right.
like for you to give me a call back and stay in touch.
I will, and I will do that.
And by the way, I have this person over here. He's been thinking about selling. I know that he's afraid that my house didn't sell, so it might affect his comps. But his name is blah blah blah,
Right.
And his number is blah blah blah.
Exactly.
So,
You're going to give me somebody's
no.
name.
Do me a favor. Don't tell him that I told you to call him. I want this to be anonymous.
Sure.
So,
Well, I call people every day, so don't worry about that.
well, I'm really happy you gave me a call today, Jason, and
See-
I really look forward to meeting with you when I'm ready to sell my house.
Well, I appreciate that. You've got my number anytime. Call or text. I do text message. Also have a website, blah, 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 blah. So then you close them with your information. That's the value of the relationship.
and grab an email address.
Grab an email. All the info you can
I'm
get
going to
out
stay
of
in touch via email. If you have anything, call me.
Right.
I'll touch base vocally
Here I
every
am on
4
Facebook,
months.
Twitter, wherever. Give them all LinkedIn. Give them all your information that you possibly can. That way they know you. And then again, my style is not the direct confrontational sale, especially when you're calling people like expired listings. For sale by owners. You start calling for sale by owners, they already think they know everything anyway.
Yeah, they've been through the process. They've either been told everything or misguided, or they're overpriced, or they're crazy. I mean, there's something, they might say the realtor sucked. The realtor might say that they're crazy. So you just got to take everything with a grain of salt and just take it for what it is.
Exactly. Mark, I want to just point in here. We're about the halfway point in our episode right now.
Yeah.
Tell people where they can find us on Facebook or social media.
On Real Inside Sales Talk. That's Facebook.com/ISA Talk.
ISA Talk.
And you can look for our podcast and our YouTube videos, which feature our conversations that we have.
Yep.
Now, as far as pricing,
Be a supporting listener,
Jason's
folks.
going to tell you all about our pricing because he knows everything about the pricing, and on top of everything, he schedules everything.
I do. I handle
Whenever
it
there's
all.
a topic you want to talk about, if it's real estate, car sales,
Leave a comment.
Cleaning, concrete, timeshare, anything that
Starting a
you're
new
selling,
business.
starting a new business, Jason will get everything set up on Google Calendar. We'll
Yep.
meet you on a Skype call,
Yep.
a real phone call, anything that needs to happen to get you taken care of.
Right, and if you become a supporting listener, if you become a 1-year subscriber to our podcast at $5 a month, you get a one-time half-hour coaching call with Mark and myself on Skype. If you become a 1-year subscriber at $10 a month, you get a 1-hour one-time coaching call with Mark and myself on Skype. And if you become a 1-year subscriber at $25 a month, you get a 1-hour coaching call with Mark and myself once a quarter. So there's a lot of value there. It's the one thing it's always great to have, and what you need to have is somebody to bounce ideas off of, regardless of your position in sales. If you're super successful, you always have a mentor. I mean, I'm sure Warren Buffett has somebody that he calls and says, hey, I've been thinking about buying this. What do you think? Trump, same way, Gates, everybody has somebody that they bounce ideas off of. Every successful person.
Experts.
Yeah, that they bounce ideas off of. That's what we are here for you to do, is when you are a supporter and you have access to our secret Facebook group, you are able to bounce those ideas off of us. You're just able to say, hey, Mark, hey, Jason, I'm thinking of trying this strategy with my business. Does it work or not? And we'll say, well, let's role play a little bit. And we'll be able to tell you. And then you'll be able to say, hey, well, that doesn't actually work. Or it does work better than I actually thought. I'm going to go try it tomorrow. That's what happens when you become a subscriber and a supporting listener to Real Inside Sales Talk with Mark and Jason.
Absolutely. Like and subscribe. Talk to us. Comment. Tell us what you want us to talk about. We want,
Share
the
the
topics
show.
that you want to talk about.
Share the show.
The best way to have a good idea is to have a lot of different ideas, even if they're outside ideas.
Exactly.
The big thing that we talked about when we started this show was making sure, one, that we're real. We talk about the real
Exactly.
shit.
We are
2,
real.
we call out the companies that are full of shit.
Exactly.
3, we support the companies that are real and actually help us on our everyday journey to be successful.
Right.
And 4, learning and growth.
And that's what you get. You get access to our secret Facebook group. You get access to Mark and Jason. And we're here to help you improve. We're here to help you succeed. Now, Mark, what I want to do is one question I wanted to ask you is, generally speaking, how often do you go through every caller in your database, every contact in your database? How often do you go through it?
About 157,000 leads that I'm currently managing.
Wow.
And I do that via phone call, text messages, and email. And I have them all on different drip campaigns and different ways of organizing how I attack the follow-ups.
Are you able to speak to every one of them like verbally each month, or?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And that's why I leave a voicemail on every phone call.
Every phone call.
And it's so important, even if it's someone that I know is going to take 45 minutes of my time.
Right.
If they don't answer, I will make sure that I leave a voicemail because they will call back.
Right.
And if they don't call back, then they actually have a warm touch. That way, when I check back in 2 weeks or mail them something or email them something,
right,
or call them again, like, hey, just touching base again. Like, for example, I missed you on 4th of July. How was your 4th of July? You still got all your fingers and toes attached.
I haven't spoken to you 2 weeks ago or a month ago. I wanted to touch base, make sure you're okay, make sure everything's going well. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I'll say, I still live in Florida. Still got
I'll base myself off of previous calls because I drop bombs and explode on them. I promised you last time that I would call you every 90 days or every 45 days or every 10 days, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Let me know what's going on. I'll be upfront with you. You be upfront with me. If I need to call every 6 months, that's fine.
Right.
If you say, hey, I will call you and I'll let you know, well, I'm still going to touch base every 45 days.
Yeah.
Everyone that says, hey, I'll call you back or I'll pass your information on my husband or wife, and 99% are not going to call back.
You want to get their number. You want to get their contact information. Regardless of what you're selling. You develop that rapport, you develop that trust, you believe in that product that you have.
Yeah.
And you can go with it. And then that's why it's easy to get their information from. You develop that trust with them. You put them at ease. If you're selling appliances and a couple is walking in there, they're price shopping for the first thing. But then the second thing is once they really start thinking about it, this appliance and what it's going to do for them and do for their lives and to improve their lives. Maybe their dishwasher is really loud. Maybe they need a new stove, and they're not sure about the glass top or the grill top. What do they want to do? How much do they cook? How often do they cook? How little do they cook? You want to ask those great questions of people. So let me ask you this. When you reach out to your clients, what's your primary method of communication? Is it text, calling, or email?
It's going to be a phone call.
Okay.
And then it's going to be a text message.
Okay.
And an email. Okay. And then I will alternate throughout the rest of the week.
Okay. So you kind of rotate through all three of them.
Yeah, I usually target everybody for 30 days. If I get no response, then I'll check back later on down the road.
Well, I'm old-fashioned. I like a phone call.
Yeah.
When I call people and I'm serious and it's about business and we need to talk about something, it's a phone call.
So if I've called you 15 times in 30 days and you still haven't answered a text, an email, or a phone call,
right,
you're probably not interested.
Yeah, but are you still going to keep going after them?
I will. I'll put them on like an email drip campaign or an auto text campaign.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably check in with you probably once every 3 weeks.
Because that's the importance of evaluating.
Yeah, you have to leave a voicemail every 3 weeks. Like tomorrow.
You never know. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years.
Yeah, like tomorrow, I'll walk in tomorrow. I'll have 60 callbacks to do on top of a lot of new leads, and I've got to make sure not just the new leads get treated properly, but everyone that I've talked to previously gets treated properly. Otherwise, I've just been wasting my time, my employer's money's time.
Exactly. And so that's why you want to have that verbal contact with somebody.
Yeah.
Because especially you can establish that contact. Because even if I'm calling you and you're really not interested necessarily, the majority of the conversations that I have people, even if they're not interested, are fairly polite. You know, it becomes that second or third or fourth one when they're still kind of, they're still not there yet, but you can tell it's still in the back of their mind. Like if this is the third time I've called you, Mark, and you're familiar with me, and you're like, oh, yeah, man, but I'm not ready to buy yet. I'm not interested yet. Dealing with those conversations, you just got to let people know, well, okay, that's fine, completely okay. I just want to call, touch base, make sure you have my information. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions for me? If they don't, or they're kind of, maybe a little hostile, you can at least say, look, I just go through my database. You can be frank with me. Say, look, I want to be successful. I want you to be successful. I want you to find a home of your dreams. When you're ready, I want you to call me because that's what I do is I help people find the home of their dreams. Or I help people find the car of their dreams. Or I help people find the appliance of their dreams.
Yeah, you don't need a big fancy speech. You just need one line.
Exactly. And that's you're trying to help them. Hey, give me a call when you're ready. If I haven't heard from you in 3 months, I'll give you a call.
Feature, link, benefit.
Yeah, that way I'm alive. I'm still here for you. Mm-hmm. That way when on that Saturday morning, you wake up and you're like, okay, well, the dishwasher's broken, we need a new one. Who are you going to call?
And that's another thing.
And then you go like, yeah, I'll call Mark right now. He'll get me hooked up.
And that's another way to make your suppliers who sponsor your workload. For example, like in real estate, you can find loan officers who will sponsor you. You'll find people like that are appraisers or other types of companies like Key Lock Services that will sponsor you. And you can call them up and say, hey, just seeing if you needed any locks changed, if you needed anything done on the fence. I've got a fence guy. Just let us know.
Exactly.
And I want to tell you a little bit of a story then. I once walked into work, and I was really scared to make phone calls. And so I'm walking into work, and I'm going downstairs. I'm firing up the computer. I'm thinking, okay, I've got to go live here in about 20 minutes, start making some phone calls. I've got to send a whole bunch of emails. I've got to send some text messages. I've got to be the first person to reach 65 people. How can I strategically plan against the other opposing people I'm calling against? And what I did was I focused and I took one thing at a time. I looked at the first task. Okay, what's the most important task? Email. Email everyone. So as soon as 7 a.m. or 7:30 hit, I'm emailing everybody. And then when it comes to calling, 7:59, I've got my dialer loaded up. 8 o'clock, I'm going live. I'm going to start calling everyone. And then on top of that, if I miss them, I'm also emailing them, letting them know, hey, I tried to reach out to you. This is who I am. This is who I am. This is why I'm reaching out to you. And this is how I can benefit you. And, it gets repetitious. And sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing the same shit, different day, and I'm hoping I get a better result than I did yesterday. And that's when you have to realize, okay, what about your schedule or what about your routine can you change? Can you reverse your routine and make everything positive just by trying something different? For example, let's say you call 60 people every morning and you only talk to 5 of them. Well, what would happen if you called those same 60 people again at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or lunchtime or 7 o'clock at night?
Exactly.
And so by changing your routine, you're going to be able to find success.
Right.
Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Over and over again. And you don't want to do that. I mean, you want to be able to, that's where the imagination comes in. That's where the curiosity comes in. That's where the willingness to evaluate yourself, reevaluate each day. Look at what your mistakes are. Look at where your successes are. More importantly, be nice to yourself over it too. You don't have to beat yourself up over, failure. Failure is okay. Failure is acceptable. Everybody is going to fail. Nobody is perfect. And what we want to do is we want to segue into our last little segment here, Mark. And Mark, what we want to talk about is you're a new business owner, okay? No matter what you do, I did like landscaping, way back when I was in the last century. And one thing that I was always taught growing up is if you got a truck, you got a pickup, you can always make money.
Yeah.
I mean, you can haul something, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, let's say you're a new business owner, brand new business owner. You're selling macrame, plant hangers or something like that. You're selling, it doesn't matter. You're selling a handyman service. You're selling a craft service. You're selling, it doesn't matter. Okay.
I got to ask. You remember the John Candy movie, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when he was selling plastic shower curtain
They were both
little
salesmen.
hangers as ivory? And they were just pieces of crap plastic, and he was making bank?
Yeah.
He believed in his product.
That's what inspired me
He
to
was
go
able
to
to
sales.
lead someone to buy something just by the sizzle.
Right. Just by his own personality.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
That's a good point because personality has a lot to do with it, but it also has nothing to do with it. If you have a gregarious personality, it doesn't matter what you do because entertainers are great salesmen. Great comedians, great salesmen. That's what you're essentially.
The greats earn their pay.
Oh yeah.
They earn their pay, and you get what you pay for. Justin Timberlake's really entertaining. And that guy can sing and dance,
and he worked hard to be able to do what he did.
And I know that, I'm happy when I paid my ticket. I know I'm going to be happy when I leave.
Exactly. So you're a new business owner. You got your business cards. You got your little website. You got your Facebook page. You got your truck with the
logos,
your logo and lettering all over.
Call me at this number, and this is my website. How's my driving?
Yeah, exactly. So once you've got all that, you're ready to go. Day one, you wake up. and you're thinking, okay, I got to get business. And you've already gone through all the relatives and friends, they're like, yeah, let's say you're a handyman and they've had you do little projects kind of here and there. And you kind of learned a little bit, sometimes friends and relatives are a lot more picky and demanding than your average customer, or
Absolutely.
There's baggage that's involved in that. So let's say you're just starting. And when I started a business, the very first business of my own, the way I got business was by networking with, getting to know people who I knew, and then asking them for their business, almost going door to door, because I had done door to door stuff before. And I thought, well, that's the way to do it. I cleaned gutters for a while. How did I get my gutter business? Walk up on their door, knock, knock, knock.
See you have a
Hi, I
big
see
tree.
you got, I see you got leaves all in your gutter. I'm sure the rain, washes down here. You can't walk through it without getting wet. I'll clean your gutters for you for $15. Had my ladder, had my truck, had my bucket.
Sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a roofer. I see you
here to
guys,
solve a
you
problem.
got some hail damage all over here. What if I could get this roof fixed for you and do it cheaper than anyone else? Oh, hey, I see you have a big spot on the concrete from where your car's been leaking oil.
Right.
That driveway just looks disgusting. Well, what if I could remove that big oil stain from your driveway?
Exactly.
Oh, you see that big pothole that you hit every morning on the exterior of your driveway? Doesn't that just drive you nuts?
Exactly.
Well, what if I could fill that with concrete right now and get that taken care of for you? What would that do for you?
What would that? Yeah. How would that help your house?
Look at these windows. What if I could take all the moisture out? See, look at this paint. It's all just chipping off. Did you know you have termites over here?
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Well,
gosh.
that's the other thing to do is if you're providing a service for somebody, let's say you're a handyman, okay? Not only do you want to start going door to door, but you certainly want to have a little website.
Yeah,
But if you could
recognition.
also do a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live or a Snapchat Live, this is what water rot looks like. And go to a door, frame, because you always find them in the door frames going to the sliding glass door out to your deck because they're not always sealed properly. So if you're a good handyman out there, here's a tip for you. Do a live video, show what that rot is, how you can fix it, how easily you can fix it, flash your number up on there. And that's one thing Mark and I offer, and not only in our Facebook page, our programs through our online affiliates that allow you to do simple, quick video like this, is to be able to take a quick video, upload it to YouTube, Facebook, all the major social media sites very quickly. You don't have to spend your time editing it. You don't have to spend your time putting in your graphics. You load that already, but when you sign up for the process. So check out our Facebook page, Real ISA Talk at Facebook.com. Download our podcast episode 3 times a week. We're going to give you all kinds of information like that. And the other thing that I want you to be able to do when you're a new business owner, okay, is always remain optimistic, because there's going to be a couple of weeks of the honeymoon period where you're excited. You kind of got a business. I'm working for myself. Oh yeah.
You will have down weeks.
And then next thing you know, oh my gosh, this is actually work. I actually have to go out there and find business. I have to go out there and advertise. I have to market myself.
I've been paying money on Facebook. I'm still not getting anything. I've been knocking on doors. I'm not getting anything. I'm calling everyone I know. I'm still not getting anything.
Yep.
What do I do now? Do I branch out to another neighborhood? Do
Exactly.
I get a second job? Do I change what I'm doing because my marketing isn't right?
And that's the first thing is, do I change what I'm doing? Ask yourself that. Evaluate what you're doing each day, because if you're going door to door and people are saying no, maybe you either need to change your pitch, practice some scripts. Maybe you're not looking at the right market. Maybe you're going to a home of trailers. The
Maybe
people
you're
that
not
don't have
doing
money.
yeah.
Go to a market of people that have money. I mean, one thing that my grandfather told me, he said, work for people who have money. Don't waste your time with people who don't have money.
Yeah, find the guy with the nicest house on the block and make his yard look better than he could ever make it look.
There you go. There you go. Fix his chimney, fix his roof, fix his windows.
Like, hey, that guy Tom, he does Mr. Jones's yard. Everybody on the block wants Tom to do their yard because he makes Mr. Jones's yard look that good.
Exactly. And when you're out there with that business, when you're out there with that potential client, and you're talking that business, and that's the thing with networking groups that I think are so undervalued, and that people don't take advantage of because they're not willing to put in the work to be part of a networking group. If you have a new business and you join a networking group, work that group. Get to know people. Ask for their business. Find out how you can help them, and you refer them. I mean, if you're a handyman, you walk in a house, they don't know your business, don't want your business necessarily to repair your door frame, but you see a big plumbing leak, you can say, hey, here's this guy I know that's a plumber. Give him a call. He's reputable. He'll come out here. He'll look at it for free, and he'll give you a price. You know, or I know this electrician. You know, so that's where when you get into those groups like that, yeah, they may cost a little money, but it's an investment. And if you work it and then put your time into it, you're going to get a return on it because you're going to get referral business out of that. That's just a fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's straight hard facts, and that's why you're listening to this show. I mean, Real Inside Sales Talk, this is how you lead generate. This is how you build your business.
Because most people go to networking groups and just go there for the free food or to just talk to people and be seen. They don't really go there and work it. I mean, that's the thing. They don't go and work the networking groups.
And check up on your past clients. You know, if you've done some gutter work on them, you know, if you've done some fence work on them, if you've done some lawn work on them, check up on them and maybe help them out for free and say, hey, I noticed this was going on. I just wanted to pop by, take care of this for you at no charge.
Right.
Just want to make sure that this looks good for you.
Exactly.
Because what they're going to be is they're going to be like, wow, someone's actually not trying to take advantage of me. He's actually, wow, taking the time out of his day, not charging me, and making sure that I'm happy.
Exactly. And that's what you're going to find out when you listen to the podcast Real Inside Sales Talk with Mark and Jason is we cut through the BS like that. And we're going to tell you straight up front because most people poo-poo networking groups. Most people do not get, they just
invite all.
And that's unfortunate because they're
Accept
so valuable.
all. Yeah,
exactly. You work a networking group, man. You work it and you work it and you work it, and you'll get a lot out of it. You know, the other thing that I want to stress, especially to new business owners, not only creating a website, having a social media presence, but do that Facebook, Internet Live, YouTube Live, podcast. Do something that shows people how to do something. I mean, like you and myself, we're doing this podcast here. Well, that just shows you how easy it is to do something like this. Microphone, simple program to record, and you're off to the races. You're providing value out there to those potential clients, and you're letting them know, hey, this works, this doesn't. A couple of upcoming episodes, we're going to start talking about CRMs.
Yes.
Mark, CRMs, yep. You're all about
customer relationship management.
Exactly. We're going to kind of go through some of the history
tech
of them.
support, sales, real estate, everything. I mean, timeshare sales, anything that has a CRM, anything that we've used before, or anything that is just top of the market, like Salesforce for cars.
Right.
We're going to be all over it.
And for listeners out there who might be, a little younger, a CRM used to actually be called a Rolodex.
A Rolodex? Tell me more about that.
You don't know what a Rolodex is?
No.
Oh my gosh, Mark, I'm going to have to show you.
Educate me.
Okay, a Rolodex used to be this spindle of essentially contact information.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I'll pull up a picture of it, and we'll have to go to like the DAV or a flea market, and I'll find a real Rolodex and show it to you. You'll trip out, and you'll want one to have on your desk. You will, and you will put every I mean, the phone nowadays contains more information than the Rolodex ever could, but the Rolodex is what you took with you from job to job because that was your database.
Okay.
That was your database right there. It was. This has been Real Inside Sales Talk with Mark and Jason, episode 6.
Episode 6. Thank you so much for listening.
Go out and sell something.
Yeah, go sell something and believe in yourself and tune into episode 7 of Real Inside Sales Talk.
Yep.
We're going to have so much cool stuff to cover, and then listen to our bonus episodes, like and subscribe.
Like,
Let us
comment,
know what you like.
email us.
And just be real. We're here. We're real. It's Inside Sales Talk. Thank you again for listening to episode
6.
Thank you.
See you, people.
Bye.